Yeah, it was a huge weekend. Been a while since we swept a weekend, so it's good to see some confidence going throughout the locker room. And it was nice to see we kind of won in two different ways. First game, kind of held on to a lead and extended it, and then obviously coming back in the second one. So it's always good to win in different ways.
We were just talking with Nighty, said that your line has been really productive over the last couple of weeks. Kind of take us through what has been part of the success for you guys over the last few weeks.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of time playing with Joe throughout my career, so we're super familiar with each other's games and reading off each other. And, I think Gavin's, had a really good kind of last 2 months. It's obviously unfortunate. He'll be out for a little bit with an injury, but he's really coming to his own. He's playing confident. Really enjoyed playing with him, so we'll be looking forward to getting him back in the lineup.
Obviously, a couple of new faces coming in through the locker room. What's having a guy like Derek Pouliot, who has tons of experience, what does he add to this locker room down the stretch?
Yeah, he's been great. Just outside of hockey, seems like a really down-to-earth guy, and a guy that, some of the younger defensemen can lean on, on the ice and off the ice too, with things maybe they have questions about. And then he's, especially on our power plays, he's rock solid up there. He has a lot of experience. Obviously, he's played a lot in the NHL and the AHL, and he's played in every situation. So, he was a huge pickup for us.
For you personally, you've been having a really strong year, production-wise, points and all that. What has kind of been the secret to your success this season?
Yeah, it's just I'm taking it one game at a time. It's, there's a lot of highs and lows, a lot of ebbs and flows during the season. So I'm just trying to do what I can to help the team win. I don't really focus on the other stuff. And, most seasons I'm counted on to maybe produce offensively. But I feel like this year I've kind of expanded my game more and helping out in certain, different areas than maybe I have in the past. Just whatever I can do to help the team win.
What's been your message to some of these younger guys like Mark Misiak and Gavin Hayes who, are still getting used to maybe a playoff push down late and, not playing these many games in college or in juniors and getting their first real taste at the pro level?
Yeah, it's when you're young, it's tough. Obviously you're so consumed by, trying to play your game and produce yourself, and it's easy to just focus on yourself and that aspect. But we try to preach to these guys, getting into the playoffs, being on a winning team, being known as a guy that is on a winning team goes a long way. For future years, every team wants winners. So whether you're in this organization or a different one, having playoff experience and having experience playing on a team that, that does well and gets in situations where, you want to show that you can win, that is just as important as what you do individually. So I think guys, we have a lot of guys in and out, a lot of guys going up, a lot of guys banged up. So it's a great opportunity for those guys you mentioned to kind of come in and kind of earn a spot or put themselves in a good situation going in next year too.
As a leader, I don't know how vocal you generally are in the locker room or on the ice for practice, but do you feel like now with every game being so vital, you have to speak up a little more, or are you doing things to kind of relax guys a little bit so they don't get too tense? What kind of your approach there?
Yeah, I try to just be myself. I talk maybe more than I should sometimes, I think, but no, I'm surrounded by a lot of leaders in this room, young and old, obviously having guys like Joey and Tony and Fitz, obviously adding Pouliot in there too. And we have such a good group. That's what, we've been saying the whole year. We still have time. We still have time to make a push, and there's still plenty of time for us to find our way into the playoffs. And I think we're a team that, we're so close, and, none of us are happy with where we're at. But all we can do is focus on, what's next. And we're a team that if we can find a way into a playoffs, get a fresh start, fresh season, I think we can do a lot of damage. And compared to where other teams are, maybe, I think we're in a good spot, and I think we just got to focus on, grinding into the playoffs.
3 games in 3 days. I know you're going to say you just take it one at a time, but is there anything else you have to keep in mind when you're going into a 3-game weekend like this?
Yeah, I think just energy levels. I think it's important to know your body, and we had a good practice today. It was up tempo. I thought the guys looked great, and just maintaining that throughout the week. I think sometimes it gets lost in translation. Practice is great. You want to work on things, but at the end of the day, practice is to prepare yourself for the weekend, for the games. That's what we're paid to do. So I think it's just getting ready, for puck drop on Friday, and we'll worry about Saturday when it comes.